Hey, my name is Praying for Exits. Today we're going to be talking about Uber, which was one of the fastest growing startups. From 2011 to 2013, Uber went from a $60 million company to a $3.5 billion company, and we're going to talk about how that happened and what has kept it the juggernaut that it is today. If you were in San Francisco in the early 2010s, you remember that trying to get anywhere fucking sucked. You had to call black cars, catch the bus, walk, bike, hop on somebody's back, a bunch of different ways to get around, but none of them were very efficient. Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, one night realized this as a problem for himself as he was waiting for a black car that he had called that was late, not showing up, couldn't find it, couldn't reach it, and realized there had to be a better option for this. This was right after the App Store had been launched, and he basically came to the conclusion that he could probably create an app for black cars that would help the people in San Francisco working late get home safe and in a reliable way. Uber ended up being one of the most scrutinized from a government perspective, as well as just from a general public perspective, companies in the history of Silicon Valley, and we're going to dive into the reasons that it became both hated and loved by many. The business model for Uber is basically, it is a platform that exists that connects drivers to riders. It takes people who have cars and late in time and gives them the ability to find passengers who have places that they need to go. There's a bunch of different tiers depending on how bougie you'd like to get with your ride, and it gives people a sense of not only when they're going to get picked up, but when they're going to get dropped off and how long that entire process is going to take. Let's say your ride is $10. Uber drivers tend to, this is not a perfect science, get around 75% of that money, as well as any tips that a rider might leave. And Uber, for facilitating the transaction, takes about 25%. And if you think about it, the reason that this makes Uber a lot of money is because Uber actually doesn't own any cars. It doesn't pay any drivers. Each individual driver is an independent contractor. And so they don't have to worry about things like healthcare, insurance, all of these things. The onus of that is on each individual driver. So at 25%, Uber is just basically paying for server costs, their costs to hire and staff people to run the platform, etc. But basically on every transaction, you can think about Uber taking around 25% of what you end up paying the driver outside of tips. Uber was not an obvious investment at first, and that specifically is because of taxi unions. In places like New York, there are unions around taxis, taxi drivers, taxi cabs, taxi medallions, etc. And these are some of the most entrenched unions that exist in the country. So at the very start, it was not very obvious that Uber would be able to disenfranchise these unions because they had such high regulatory capture that it was very unlikely that some independent company would come and be able to take that away from them. I know a bunch of people at the very earliest days of Uber. I have one specific friend who ended up putting, I believe, $200,000 into Uber. It ended up being $100 million. I have also heard of people who were secretaries at Uber at the very start, ended up walking away with $50 to $60 million. Uber was one of the most successful venture bets of all time at the time. And as Uber started to gain steam, it became increasingly obvious that if this were to work, there would be only one person who would be able to get it over the finish line, and that was Travis Kalanick. Travis Kalanick was actually known for not asking for permission or forgiveness, really, and just doing whatever it was that he thought was best for Uber. That actually created a lot of friends and enemies for him. Some people look at him as somebody that should have been probably more regulated, but Uber was known for, and this actually became a playbook for many types of companies that were battling against entrenched industries, of maxing out what the opportunity was and then worrying about if it was legal or if governments wanted to shut it down later. And what they had going for it was this was such a better solution than what already existed. They were able to get customers on their side and have constituents of specific places fight for them on their behalf. It was such a good service, and it provided so much value to their customers that people would show up to town hall meetings, whatever, and literally say, we need this thing, please don't take it away from us. Uber was perfectly timed because the iPhone had actually just come out, and they had just added a feature to the iPhone that was not widely available on cell phones before, which was GPS tracking. GPS tracking was not only helpful to identify where your driver was and how close they were coming to your location, but on the driver's side, also where the customer was and where you had to go to pick them up. And so as a result of large shift in technology, which was the iPhone becoming a much more useful platform, they were able to take advantage of this, not only the aspect of GPS, but also the App Store. The App Store was this massive shift to technology where individual developers could create products and have a distribution function, which was Apple and their App Store, and get their product in the hands of millions of users very quickly and very frictionlessly. And so a combination of having this sort of mini computer in your pocket that also functioned as a GPS, plus being able to distribute this product very frictionlessly across a wide variety of people, allowed Uber to penetrate very deeply and very quickly horizontally across a bunch of different markets in a way that was not otherwise possible before the iPhone was in everybody's pocket. That's how Uber went from being valued at $60 million in 2011 to almost $3.5 billion in 2013. And now Uber is one of the largest technology companies in the world, ubiquitous amongst almost everybody, and making countless deca and centimillionaires along the way. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment on other companies that we should also do a deep dive on.